Hey guys, this is Diary of a Travelling Salesperson or Salesman. I can't even remember what it is myself. It's my channel. It's been a while since I posted anything, and to be honest, sort of losing the faith a little, because I thought my content would resonate with a lot of people in this position. When I say this position, I'm on about guys getting up first thing in the morning while it's still dark, getting on the road, preparing for meetings, etc, etc. And I think there's tens of thousands in the UK, particularly in the UK, who would do this sort of thing. And I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm in my mid-40s nearly, so a lot of road covered, a lot of early starts, a lot of stress. But to be honest, I've come back to the channel today because I've had a lot of changes in my life. Some strange changes. I'm still in the same job. Not changed the job at all. I've just sort of gone through a stage of being in a dark place, and more recently, I'm not sure what's happened to me, but I think I've sort of become spiritual, and I'm looking into Jesus, I'm looking into God, I'm looking into the Bible, I'm looking into how to be a better person. It feels like a big weight's being lifted off my shoulders, but every day comes a new test, and I'm trying to deal with that. I'm trying to battle it. I'm trying to really find myself again. A lot of stress in the last few months from my job, which hasn't helped, but it's part of sales, as everybody knows who do this job, who does a sales role. And so today, guys, it's going to be a short video. It's going to be a trip to a small market town called Hinckley in I guess it's East Midlands. I go there quite often. It actually dates back to Anglo-Saxon times. It's a town, I think people may be familiar with Triumph, the motorcycle factory that's there in Hinckley. It's probably a town where it's in between Coventry to its south and Leicester to its east. It comes under the Leicester postcode, the Leicester area, but people in Hinckley seem to, I think, when I speak to people in Hinckley, they seem to not want to be from Leicester, and they're right on the border of Warwickshire and Leicestershire. So yeah, it's not that big, I don't believe. It's got a town centre, it's got a couple of major shops, it's got the gym where I go to quite often when I'm in that area. But other than that, I don't think it's anything special really. But again, sorry if people watching this from Hinckley or Leicestershire. I think it's just a typical British mid-sized town. Okay. So got up this morning, I got up at 5:30 AM, done my routine, on the road now, and yeah, the weather's got pretty bad. Yesterday was quite good. Today it's pretty wet, windy, very traditional UK or British autumn, as we're in October, rapidly going through October. So yeah, it's damp, makes you want to not get out of bed in the morning. And you find, especially when you go this part of Leicestershire, a lot of country lanes, a lot of dangers, a lot of foxes and badgers running out on you. Very quiet this time of day. So yeah. So back on the subject of work. as I mentioned, it's been a very, very tough few months as I work in manufacturing and sales distribution. A lot of factors, including economy issues. In the UK, we've had a new government recently, so there's a lot of, I guess at this point, lack of confidence in where the government's what direction the government wants to take in terms of taxes. So then you have companies, especially when it comes to capital purchases, they're quite reluctant to outlay for large amounts of money for items which, again, the uncertainty doesn't give them the confidence to do so. So that's been an issue. However, I've seemed to hit my target 2 months early, so that's great. Great news for me. Great news for the company. Hopefully, I get my nice bonus at the end of the year. But any salesperson will tell you it's you don't believe it until you see it. So I'm not really spending the money before I get it, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's a good thing for myself. I hit my target early. And what comes on, especially October, because my year ends in December, it tends to be now prepping for next year, doing my account plans for next year, checking, just going over budgets, finalise budgets in November. But yeah, it's just getting a grip of for next year now and projecting my growth on my customer base. Until we get this budget, the new budget released by the government in October, it's pretty much going to be finger in the wind at this point. So, but I've got an idea of where my customers are going to get to or be at, which is always a good thing, ahead of the year starts for next year. So yeah, in terms of targets. With my role that I'm in, I tend to set my target myself and then discuss that with my director. We then come to a compromise normally. He wants more. Obviously, I'm trying to be more realistic. And for you guys who have to do the same thing or go through the same motions, the same dance, one thing I will say about my current company, they do give us a lot of autonomy as salespeople. They give us a lot of trust, I guess, in terms of what numbers we're going to try to achieve for this year. And again, it's all based on realistic. I think a lot of salespeople could be guilty of trying to over project what they think they're going to get just to make their superiors or their managers or their bosses happy. I mean, rule 101 with sales is you shouldn't really bite off more than you can chew, over predict when you're going to come up way under. And again, there's factors which, especially with manufacturing, where I work, there's a lot of factors which could deflect where you think your year's going to get to. And I think it's always just good to be a bit cautious, especially with the cost of the goods always going up. Steel, fuel, etc. This all impacts on prices. Plus, as well, we're going to get, as a business, we're having a price increase, I believe, before the start of next year. So that's going to impact my numbers. But I think it's going to be a good start to the year next year for me, in what I'm looking at in my pipeline. I think as well, a lot of salespeople will testify to this. I think if you've hit your number early and you've got to where you think you need to be at, there's a term called sandbagging which comes to mind, where you try to hold your deals for next year to come over so you have a good start to next year. And don't get me wrong, obviously ethically it's probably not great for the business, but as a salesperson, being very tribal as we are, I think self-preservation, we want to make sure we have a good start to the year going forward. So me personally, I don't have anything in mind at this point. If a customer wants to place an order now, then they can. It'll go into this year, but I'd say it's cutting it fine now because of lead times, etc., etc. When the customer's going to receive the items, we don't invoice until they receive, obviously. So the longer the lead time that we have our end, the better chance it's going to go into next year anyway. So yeah, I mean, you guys, salespeople, I think you all understand that element of your own targets and sales. We're just going through a small village called Burbage, which is a beautiful village. It's a bit sad to see that this main road going through it is very, very busy normally on most days. So a lot of the houses you can see is to the left and right of me on this main road. They're really substantial size houses, and back in the day they probably were very, very, very expensive. But now you have this main road going through, which is full of traffic going from Hinckley to Leicester, Leicester to Hinckley. So yes, it's a bit sad affair, but the village centre is beautiful. I think the house prices here are still quite high, but yeah, this road hasn't helped the value of these houses next to the road, by no means. It's very quiet for a early Monday morning. This road would normally be bumper to bumper. I think the weather's put a lot of people off early starts. And now you're seeing a lot of the leaves on the trees now hitting the floor, which is going to be a hazard now in the next couple of months. But yeah, it's definitely hitting autumn now. The temperature's still around about between 5 and 10 Celsius at this time of morning. We're now just coming into Hinckley. It says home of Triumph. So those of you familiar with Triumph, this is the place to come and visit there. I do believe they have a museum, or they have some sort of showroom, at least here. Guys, I mean, I'm very new to this channel, so if you guys can subscribe, I'll do live feeds when I'm traveling up and down the UK's motorways, going to customer visits. I need to get a certain amount of subscribers before I can get to do live, but yeah, if you could subscribe and tell me what you'd like to see more of. I'm on the road at least 3 times a week, visiting customers of all shapes and forms, different meetings, introduction meetings, to presentations, to closing deals, and yeah, it'd be good if you guys can let me know, or subscribe and let me know then what you'd like to see more of, or what would interest you, or discussions more about certain deals that I've done recently, or opportunities I've got in the pipeline. So that would be awesome if you guys can do that. So yeah, you can see the traffic's now starting to build up a little now, because people are now making their way to work, I guess, or people go to the gym this time of morning. I go a little earlier. I normally get up about 4:30, 5, go to the gym, try and hit an hour and a half in the gym, and get back. Sometimes I go from the gym to customer meetings. I shower in the gym and then go straight to customer meetings. But I always find that better if you guys do similar things, let me know. But my routine is pretty strict. I tend to train I do not train in the gym in the evenings or late afternoons, because by that time I'm either tired or I just find the gym too busy to go to. So I go in the mornings when I'm more energetic. Plus you feel better for the whole day then. You feel like you've achieved something before you even start work. So that's it's a great feeling. if anybody who watches this is from Hinckley, or let me know and tell me if there's any good places to go to or places to avoid. There's always places to avoid, I guess, but it would be nice to have a bit more knowledge. This is not a geography lesson or a historical lesson video, so I don't want to try and put too much in there, but maybe I should learn a little more before I go to these places. I don't tend to spend much time in these places, so I don't really see the significance of me knowing 500-year history, but you know, I could try, I guess. So I think this is the town centre of Hinckley. Everything's closed this time of morning. It's sad to see, guys. I mean, on my travels back and forth, I was in Bolton in the UK a few weeks back, and it's pretty sad to see, I have to say it, most of these town centres or city centres are just so abandoned, and it's sad to see it where all the shops are closed or boarded up or graffiti. Yes, you know, we're all online now, everything's online, so that's great, but I think it has to be something said about having a thriving a thriving town centre where you have a lot of footfall, a lot of shops, a lot of businesses doing well, a lot of wealth being generated, a lot of jobs being opened up. Now you just see the same generic shops in these town centres, a lot of charity shops in these places, which is pretty sad. But I guess that's the way modern days are going, where everything's online, everything's digital, everything's quick, fast. So guys, today's meeting is just going to be an update meeting more than anything on a customer who's been, again, another phrase which salespeople will be aware of is tire kicking. Had a lot of promising meetings, nothing's really going anywhere. The customer, I think, has got ideas of grandeur, wants everything but doesn't want to pay for anything, which is another familiar story for salespeople. And I'm just going to go today to try and wrap this meeting up either one way or another. And that's a good skill to have, guys, where you can identify, maybe it's taken me longer than I should have, identify whether a customer is either wasting your time or serious, but you know, needs more nurturing. Just be in a position where you can say effectively, enough's enough now. My time is best spent with another customer who wants to progress, or say, look guys, look, you know, let's put this on hold, let's revisit it in a few months time, let me know if your budget changes or your ideas change, and we can revisit it. You know, try to be diplomatic, you know, don't be rude, but try to identify where your time is best spent. That's the key, I think. I've had many meetings in the past, especially when I was younger in sales, where I was being just led down a garden path, and it was, yes, meetings, great, we call them teacup meetings or tea meetings, where you just go in there, shoot the breeze, tick a box, nothing gets done. You know, that's your time. You know, how do you value your time? So yes, just try to be in a position where you can actually say to a customer, right, Mr. Customer, what's the timeline here? Can we progress? If not, let's revisit it another time. Okay. So yeah, today's going to be one of those meetings where I lay down the law, and who knows, the customer may say to me, right, Chris, we've had enough of these meetings, let's wrap it up, let's go forward. And then guess what, everybody's happy. So hopefully that happens, but I'm not sure if it will today. I'm going to stop at the shop and get some water and some food for my trip back later. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go more into why I have not been present online for a while, and why I've been, I think, pretty down about things, and how I've I think I've sort of awakened a bit to maybe a higher power or something. I don't know what's come over me, but we'll go into that again my next video. But you guys, you know, I appreciate your time. You know, you spending time to look at my videos. Again, nothing's much happened on this video. This is just a video of me signing back in. But let me know, guys. Please subscribe. Let me know. Give me some comments. And yeah, I'll speak soon. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Bye bye.